Welcome to a new year, a fresh start, a blank canvas. As we venture into 2024, let's begin with a powerful quote from the Greek Stoic philosopher Epictetus. He once challenged us to continually question, is this something that is or is not in my control? An intriguing inquiry that prompts us to examine our own habits of control. It's a call to focus on the things we can influence and release those we cannot. Now let's explore the profound wisdom encapsulated in these words. Consider the story of John, a successful entrepreneur who believed he could control every aspect of his life and business. John was a man who thrived on control. The more control he had, the more successful he believed he would be. He micromanaged his business, insisted on perfection from his team, and even tried to control his personal life to the smallest detail. His belief was simple. The more aspects of life he could control, the less room there was for failure. But this obsession with control started to take its toll. The stress of trying to maintain control over everything started to wear him down. He was constantly on edge, always worrying about the next thing that could go wrong. His health started to deteriorate as he neglected self-care in his quest for control. His relationships suffered as he tried to control the people around him, pushing them away with his demands for perfection. And then, there was his business. His obsession with control led to a stifling work environment where creativity and innovation were stifled. His team was demotivated, their productivity declined, and the business started to suffer. John was so focused on controlling every single detail that he lost sight of the big picture. He was so fixated on the uncontrollable factors that he neglected the things he could control: his reaction, his attitude, his decisions. And the irony of it all? The more he tried to control, the less control he actually had. His health was failing, his relationships were strained, and his business was on the brink of collapse. His pursuit of control had led him to a state of burnout, stress, and ultimately failure. John's story is a stark reminder of the pitfalls of trying to control everything. But what if John had done things differently? Imagine a different scenario for John. Instead of trying to control everything, he focuses on what he can control. John starts by identifying the things in his life that are truly within his control. His actions, his responses, his attitude, these are the things he can directly influence. In this new reality, when a project at work doesn't go as planned, John doesn't stress over the outcome, which is beyond his control. Instead, he concentrates on his reaction to the situation. He takes a step back, assesses what went wrong, and formulates a plan to move forward. When his relationships hit a rough patch, he no longer tries to control the other person's feelings or actions. He understands that he can only control his own behavior and reactions, so he communicates openly, listens attentively, and strives for understanding, rather than control. By focusing on what he can control, John experiences a significant decrease in his stress levels. He's no longer burdened by the impossible task of trying to dictate every aspect of his life. His relationships flourish, as he's now more understanding and less controlling. His professional life thrives, as he becomes a more effective problem solver, no longer paralyzed by fear of the unknown. By focusing on what he could control, John was able to transform his life and achieve a healthier balance. So, what can we learn from John's story and Epictetus's wise words? Drawing from our journey through this video, we've discovered a few striking truths. Trying to control everything like John initially did can lead to stress, frustration, and ultimately burnout. It's a taxing and futile endeavor, like trying to catch the wind in your hands. On the flip side, focusing on what can be controlled, our actions, our responses, our attitudes, can be incredibly liberating and empowering. It's like choosing to dance in the wind instead of catching it. The shift from external control to internal control, as we've seen, can be transformative. It leads to a sense of calm, resilience, and a newfound ability to navigate life's unpredictable seas with grace. Remember, as Epictetus said, always ask yourself, is this something that is or is not in my control? Embrace this wisdom and watch your life transform. Thank you for watching, and here's to a more controlled and serene 2024.